Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. So this is our shorter sequence that's going to focus all around the hip and the hip joints and the muscles that surrounds the hips. So it's a great one if you've been feeling a little bit stiff, a little bit tight from there lately, if you've been out of your routine, if you've been sitting down lots, this is really nice. If we can keep the hips nice and healthy, it has a good effect on our posture, the way we stand, the way the body supports itself. And also it's very good for if you're stressed, if you're tensed, any work where you release into the hips feels really nice. So it's going to be a really nice practice. And we will start off sitting up. Grab anything you need. You might need a little bit of support for your knees today with a blanket, or if you've got a block or anything that you might need for the practice, then bring that with you. So just take a moment. Easy Sukhasana first of all, easy seated pose. And bring your hands together, bring your hands in towards the heart centre. And just let yourself close the eyes, focusing on your breath from here. Start to be aware of the flow of breath as it moves now in and out through the nose. Allowing yourself to maybe set an intention for today's practice. And as we work through releasing in the hips today, feel that this is a chance for you to let go of whatever you don't need right now, whatever doesn't serve you. Anything that you've been holding on to, feel that as we work through these hip movements, a chance to release and let go. And then slowly let the eyes lift, let the hands release. We're going to start off bringing your soles of the feet together from here, and you can move them forwards or you can bring them in more depending on what's going to work from here. And we just stay nice and lifted for a few breaths. As you breathe in, maybe taking your attention just to the fullness of this breath. And as you breathe out, send the awareness down towards your hips and your sit bones. Breathing in, be aware of the fullness of the breath. And as you breathe out, be aware of your sit bones and your hips. You can take a walk forward, let your pelvis move forward. You can have your hands around your feet if that works for you, or out in front. Let the elbows wide. Let your head be nice and heavy from here. And as you breathe out, maybe taking your attention into the upper body as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, send your attention, your exhale, down into your hips. As you breathe in, take your awareness to the upper body. And as you breathe out, slowly bring your attention down into your hips. And then slowly letting yourself lift the head, move your arms, let yourself come back, and we're going to extend out with the legs. So from here, we're going to bend your right leg, and you're going to take your right leg across your left leg from here. If you need any padding, if you need to support the foot, you can. You might have it further away. If you want to feel more of a stretch into that outside of the hip, you can move it closer in. It's a bit similar to the yin posture, where we take the foot over. You're going to sit up nice and tall. And this might just be enough where you are, or it might feel good to come forward. If it's too intense on that leg, just soften slightly. You can bend it a little bit more. And you can come forward from here. And just take a few moments, just breathe in. Head nice and heavy, no tension into the head. Starting to work all movements movements that are going to work all around the hips. It's not just about opening the hips, it's about stretching as well the muscles that surround the hips. And allow yourself to lift up. You're going to take the right arm out to the side, lifting your left one. As you breathe out, bending that arm, you can send that arm up and over. Let the head be nice and heavy. And then coming back to the centre, left hand to that side. Right one lifting. And as you breathe out, up and over. And then nice and slowly coming all the way back. We're going to release the legs, give them a shake if you need to. And then we're going to bend the left one and take it over that right leg from here. Your choice again, you might want it further down, or you might be able to move it in a little bit closer. You can sit up nice and tall. Remember to bend if you want to that lengthened leg. Breathe in as we breathe out. We can start to ease forward. We can start to lengthen the arms if that works. Nice heavy head. You can choose how you want to work it, how deep you want to work into the posture today. Can you focus on that attention, maybe just releasing and letting go as we breathe out, letting go of what we don't need right now. Couple more breaths. And then nice and slowly lifting up. We'll take that side bend stretch, left hand out, right arm lifting. As we breathe out up and over from here into a side bend stretch. And then taking it to the other side, right hand down, left arm lifts, coming up and over. It's a nice bit of stretch into the sides of the hips from here, that left side. And then coming all the way back. You can release the foot, you can bend the legs, let your hands come behind you, separate the feet, and just take a moment to gently move your hips from side to side, letting go of any tension, any tightness. And then come back, roll yourself over, bring yourself onto an all fours from here, nice spread hand. Cat stretch, inhale, lifting your tailbone, lift the front of the body. And as you exhale, rounding over, gaze back through the legs. Inhale to come through, nice movement for the hips. Breathing out, rounding over, gazing back through the legs. One more, inhale to come through. And exhale to round over. You're going to come back to the all fours. You're going to just draw some circles with your hips from here. And you can choose any movement, whether you come forward or back slightly, that's going to help to loosen up and release your hips. And then on the other side, you can do that same thing from here. Get a nice release, good for the lower back as well, and the muscles that surround there. Remember, everything's connected. And then coming back to the centre. You're going to take the, I'm going to do it here so you can probably say right leg out to the side. And pad your knee if you need to. If it works, you can take the hand on the hip, lift up. It extends your top arm up from here. Make sure your head feels okay. Feel a nice opening around your hips. And then coming back, bring your knees back. Remember, not quite together, hip distance apart. And then your left leg extends out. Your right hand's down. Your left hand's going to come onto the hip as you lift up. That might be enough. Or you can extend up with the arm, couple of breaths. And then nice and slowly, coming all the way back, bring your knees back from here. Pad your knees if you need to. We can extend out with your right leg. Bend your right leg. And if it works, you can then open up that hip, draw the knee to that side. If it works, you can do a few hip moving as if you was just drawing circles with that knee. You can go in one direction first, and then moving out into that other way from here. And then bring your knee back to the centre, coming back down. Get the other side, so we'll lengthen your left leg, bend that leg, open your knee out to the side, and then you can draw some circles with that hip if it works. Just taking your time, working with what feels good, and then you can circle in that other movement from here. And then bring your knee back to facing down to the floor, extend out. Lay your toes down, bring your knees back. And you're going to sit back to the heels. You can take the knees as wide as your mat or finding your preferred position for child's pose. And you're going to start to slowly come forward. If it's too intense for the knees, taking them this wide, taking it closer together. Let your heads come down to the floor, or supporting with a blanket or a pillow, whatever you've got for the head. And you're going to take some really nice breaths from here. And taking your attention into letting go, releasing into your hips from here. And just feel that everything's just releasing, creating space with your breath. Lifting up the hips, you can walk the hands forward. You can point your toes back to the knees. You tuck the toes under, coming into a downward dog from here. Nice heavy head. Move your head gently from side to side. Then we're going to take our right leg up into our 3-leg downward dog. You're going to bend your right leg from here. You're going to open that knee out to the side. You can spend a few breaths. If it works, you can draw a few circles with the knee. Thinking about releasing any tension, any tightness around the hips. Moving it into that other direction from here. Knee back to the centre, extending out with that leg. We're going to bend that. We're going to step that foot in between the legs into either a warrior, or if you can come down to the knee, you're going to release that foot. You can pat that back knee if you need to. Taking your hands onto that thigh from here. And you can take a few moments to get a really nice stretch into that front of your other hip. Lift the arms if it feels okay from here. Just take a good few breaths. You might sink a little bit lower, feel a really nice stretch into that front of the hip joint, and then extending back down. Take your knees back from here, tucking your toes under, lift back to your downward dog. Calm breaths throughout. We'll take your left leg, lifting up your left leg, and you're going to bend your left leg. You're going to open that knee out to the side. Try to press back onto that left hand as well. You can draw some circles with your knee from here. And circling in that other direction. Knee back to the centre, extending out with that leg. And bending that leg, stepping that foot in between the hands. And you can do the same thing. You can come to either warrior if you want to work the hips today, or if you're able to bring that back knee down, bringing it down, releasing that foot, pads it up as much as you need to. Let yourself maybe take your hands onto that thigh first of all. Move into the arms. You can either hold it here or take the arms up. And I always find lunges like this are quite intense. You know you're working them, they're really quite strong. I find them sometimes a challenge to be in. So just go with your breath, thinking about as you breathe out, releasing anything that you don't need right now. Let it go. And then slowly let yourself come back to your hands, back to your hands and the knees, and then swing your legs out to one side. And we're gonna come down to the floor. You can just move anything that you don't need out of the way. And extend the arms out, roll yourself down to the floor from here. You're gonna hug your knees in towards the chest. And if you can, take your knees wider from here, as if you was just drawing your knees, heading in towards the direction of the armpits. A really nice release from here. Good couple of breaths. And then take your hands behind your thighs. Keep the knees bent for your happy baby pose. So lifting up the feet. If it feels good, take your hands to the outside edge of your feet, or the inside or the toes. And focus again on that breath, releasing to the hips. You want to feel that the breath is going there. Your intention is going there. We're letting go of whatever we don't need right now. And then slowly releasing your feet down. You're going to pick up your right knee. You're going to take that foot across your left leg from here. You can press your hands away from here. So press the knee if that feels enough. If you can, make your other foot active from here, so that it helps to keep it in a good position for the knee and the ankle joint. If it works, you lift up the other leg, either threading the hand through the back of the leg, or you can reach the hand around the shin. You can use belts as well if you need to. And the other leg hasn't got to work. And either stay still or start to take just a slow movement, gently from side to side. So just easing into any tension, any tightness. Using your breath to release and let go. And then slowly centre, take that foot down, taking the other foot back down from here. And left knee bends, and we'll take that foot across your leg from here. Make that foot active. And you can use, first of all, the other hand just to ease it away to open up into that hip joint. Or another option would be to lift the leg on either hands behind your back of the thigh, or you can reach the hands around the shin. And just take a moment, so really focus. This can be quite intense as well, especially if you've reached your hands around the shin. That can feel quite intense. Use your breath as if you're using your visualization, the breath to breathe into that hip joint. And either be still or take a gentle move from side to side. So just releasing any tension, any tightness. All that lovely space for the energy to flow with what you've worked in the hips today. Back to the centre, release the hands. Take your feet back to the floor. Cactus arms, just take a moment to gently drop your knees from side to side. Letting go of any tension, any tightness. The next time that your knees come to the right side, you might like to pick up your right foot, take it across that thigh, just to get a nice final stretch from here. Nice long, slow breaths. And then take that foot back. You can lift the legs back, nice and wide for the feet again. Knees drop to the left. And you can either stay here or pick up your foot, take it, left foot, over that right thigh, and you just stretch more across the front of the thighs from here. Nice, long, slow breaths. And then head back, slowly release from here. Hands on your lower belly from here. And keep the legs bent for a few moments, or if it works, just let the legs have a nice stretch from here, so releasing. And have them as wide as your mat. And just see if you can just let them gently release and roll. Maybe even taking your hands to your hips from here, just for a little bit of added warmth to encourage them to support. Legs very heavy. Ankles relaxing. Just take a few moments on your breath. As you breathe in, you might focus on the words let. And as you breathe out, focus on the word go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. And if you want to stay longer, then have as long as you need. If you're ready to move, move the fingers, take a deep breath in, and as you do so, raise the arms, have a nice stretch out with the legs. Bending the knees, hug the knees in towards the chest, rock gently from side to side. Taking your time to roll over to the right side and slowly start to ease all the way back to the centre. Just sitting for a moment, hands in towards your heart centre. Just take a moment to feel the connection with the earth, which you might find deeply now as you've opened up the hips today. Let yourself feel more grounded during the rest of the day. Take a nice full breath in, and as you breathe out, lower your head down, blink the eyes open. And as you inhale, lift your head, lift your heart. Namaste. I hope that you enjoy that. I hope that your hips appreciated it. Enjoy the rest of your day.